Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
It is picked off by the line. Darius Slay's got it. Coming back right side 25. Picks up a block at the 30. Darius at the 40.
Drink it in, drink it in. Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Rolls to the right. Stafford throws deep. Got a man out there. End zone. Caught. Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Marvin Jones.
Stafford! Drink it in, drink it in.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Cornbread.
Stafford! Drink it in, drink it in, drink it in, man.
Detroit Koolaid, what is going on, everybody? Friday, we are back, and what I want to do, this is your boy Okri. I want to jump on real quick, just sort of give a quick preview. What me and Grifka did when we recorded this week was we just got going on that Chiefs game. We were kind of like, man, we got enough for 2 episodes here. So we broke it up. Chiefs review part 1. You're going to hear the second part today. And, man, was that a heck of a football game. With the bye week, it just seemed right to sort of divvy it up and do 2 episodes. I just want to do a quick preview here, tell you guys a couple things, give my take on the team, a couple updates, and then we'll throw to the episode. So one of the main things I wanted to kind of announce or just promo here is it looks like next week we're going to be fortunate enough to have Eric Schlitt of USA Today Lions Wire on. Eric's a great guy, works really hard. Always real busy covering the Detroit Lions, but was able to get him to hopefully commit to come on with us. He's been gracious enough to do that, and we look forward always to talking football with him. Just a really good guy, really good mind for the game, so it'll be fun to chat with him. So that's our plan, and then we're also hoping to have Logan Lamorandier of Lion Lowdown. I'm hoping to have him on the show as well. I know he's been wanting to come back on for a while, and just timing and life and busyness gets in both of our ways, but we're able to hopefully make it happen here for you guys next week. So it'll be fun. Sit down, me, Grifka, and those guys, sort of chat football, and looking forward to that. Also want to update everybody that word came out recently that TJ Hawkinson, Grifka's favorite player, looks like he's recovering well from that nasty concussion when he tried to hurdle and his helmet's just sort of bounced off the turf there. He is supposedly, reportedly, rumor and innuendo is that he's going to be at the Michigan-Iowa game. So if you can be at a stadium with 100-some thousand people, it looks like you're progressing well, and still with another week and a half to recover before that big Monday night game in Green Bay. I would expect the Hawk to be back and be playing and be rolling. So we will see if that comes to fruition, but that's a good update that I want to give everybody. And yeah, I just wanted to kind of talk football here for a second. So like, if the Hawk comes back, I mean, my hopes is that we go into Green Bay with Hawkinson back. I'd love to see Mike Daniels, see where he's at with that foot injury. I'd love to see Slay back on the field. I know he put a tweet out saying that he was all right. He was just sort of resting up. I think, who was that? It was sort of another corner. I want to say it was Richard Sherman. Him and Richard Sherman were tweeting back and forth. They're like, I'm all right. I'm resting. It's like, all right, we could have used you against the Chiefs, but he probably wasn't good to go there, but hopefully another week or 2 of rest, and he'll be back. Like I say, hopefully for that Green Bay game. I mean, you also got guys like Deshaun Hand, who we've been waiting on. I mean, it's just real cloudy. This guy's got a brace on. He doesn't have a brace on. He's practicing. He's not playing on Sundays. I don't know what's going on with my guy Deshaun Hand, but like I say, I liked him in the draft process. He really showed up as a rookie, played well, and just haven't seen anything from him since because he's just been hurt all the time. So, I would think it's about time where he debuts himself. Who else we got? We had Quandre that went down. I mean, I'd love to see Q back there. He really makes a difference, kind of patrolling that back end with him and T-Walk. Really can fly up, make tackles, make plays. I was really proud of the team, how they played when he went out really early in that Chiefs game. Because, like I say, he's kind of the quarterback of that back end and that defense as well as the heartbeat. And they really played well without Q, but that's a guy we need. I don't know. I mean, it's just been encouraging. I mean, I know Grifka quit on this guy after his first game like so many Lions fans did and start ragging on Trey Flowers. Oh, he's terrible. Trade him. Are you kidding me? The guy's played a couple games. He's here for 5 years. He's a great versatile piece. You see him on the edge. You see him playing nose tackle. You see him hustling, making plays, getting up the football field, stopping the run. I still love what Trey Flowers brings to this team, and he's just a great person, great, solid person to put in your locker room. Love him. So all you people just need some more patience, as well as just knowing that this guy's not going to put up 20 sacks. He's not going to put up 15 sacks, but he hopefully will be in double digits when it's all said and done, and be able to control people physically, which means tackle people in the run game, disrupt the quarterback, hit the quarterback. I think he'll do all that. So what I'm looking for in Green Bay, which, as you know, we've mentioned on the show, me and Grifka will be there. I've only taken a couple Lions road trips, but this is by far the one I'm looking forward to the most. I mean, always wanted to kind of go to Lambeau Field. I can't believe it's on Monday Night Football. I can't believe, Lions, Packers, both teams will have good records. There'll be lots on the line. I mean, me and Grifka still got to pinch ourselves and just be like, man, this is going to be crazy. So we're trying to figure out our plan, like when we're going to road trip there, what we're going to do when we get there. I mean, the plan is to wear Lions gear, walk around town, probably have a sign for Detroit Koolaid. We know there's going to be some great Detroit Kool-Aid drinkers in the parking lot. I mean, Paul Jackson from Florida, we know he'll be out there with a bunch of his buddies. That's going to be a great time. They're going to come hang out. We're all going to hang out, throw the football, probably do a live podcast in the parking lot, talk some smack to some cheddar heads and mozzarella faces. And, oh, man, it's going to be incredible. Like I say, I'm just so looking forward to it. Still lots to plan, lots to figure out, but it should be an incredible time. And that football game's going to be huge, as I said, and it can go either way. Like, you don't just walk into Lambeau and get a dub. Like, the Lions are going to have to earn it. They're going to have to play well. They're going to have to be healthy. And like I say, I've been kind of coaching Grifka that he's got to hang in there for that game. I don't want to hear any complaining after the first mistake. I don't want to hear any moaning after the first referee call that doesn't go our way. There's 4 quarters of football. Under the lights, we go in there, play strong, and just find a way to get a W. That's all that matters. So, again, lots on the line. Really looking forward to it. So, like I say, appreciate everybody listening to our show. Like, we're just having a ton of fun still with the Detroit Koolaid Cast. Listens continue to go up episode after episode. I love just arguing with Grifka, like listening to him say okay after every little thing he says. I mean, somebody's got to get at me on Twitter and give me the okay count from the last episode before this one, because it was off the charts. We love having fun with the Grifka Bell, all the sound bits, all you guys on Twitter giving me the Caruso takes. I mean, those are super fun. And most of all, like you said, at the heart of it, me and Grifka are just Lions fans, like all you guys. We love the team. We love everything about football, and we just love talking about it. A ton on the show. I mean, I think we're still pumping out more shows, more content than anybody else doing Lions podcasts right now. So, again, we're the fans podcast. We love joking around. We love laughing. We love arguing, but we love W's, and we love seeing a good Detroit Lions football team on the field. And we hope to see that Monday night against Green Bay. So just want to jump on here quickly, give you guys the Hockenson update, as well as just kind of pump you up for that Green Bay game. Make sure you're ready for that one. And enjoy a bye week for the Lions. A lot of people will go, hang out and do some special things with their families, enjoy Sunday football without the Lions on, get those fantasy football teams in, all that type of stuff. And like I say, I'm looking forward to it. Still a lot to get ready for this road trip, and super pumped. So check us out next week, where we'll have Eric Schlitt and Logan on. That's going to be super fun. And until then, let me throw this to our episode here. Me and Grifka talking everything Lions, Chiefs, breaking it down, talking about all the referee calls, talking about everything that you were just going crazy about while you're sitting on your couch watching this football game. So enjoy it. Thanks again, everybody. Take care.
When you need mealtime inspiration, it's worth shopping Baker's, where you'll find over 30,000 mouth-watering choices that excite your inner foodie. And no matter what tasty choice you make, you'll enjoy our everyday low prices, plus extra ways to save, like digital coupons worth over $600 each week. You can also save up to $1 off per gallon at the pump with fuel points. More savings and more inspiring flavors make shopping Baker's worth it every time. Baker's, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
So Grifka, we're trying to get back to this, or trying to talk about this Matt Stafford fumble. Like, this guy has been playing such good football, and I just love his mentality. I love some of the throws he's made this year. I love his grit. I love his leadership. The thing I can't figure out is this guy continues to sort of, when the pocket breaks down or when he breaks the pocket, he's continuing to put it on the turf too much for a 10-year vet. And here we are inside the 10-yard line. He's led the team down the field again. He just jets out to the left side, and he basically lost the ball because he switched hands for some reason. Like, hello, number 9, the most important thing is the football. Don't give up the football. And I know he's trying to make plays, but he has to know when chaos is around him or when he's getting out of the pocket, the one thing you don't do is give it up. Like, wasn't there a couple other plays where, like, he sort of got sacked and that ball kind of came free, but he was able to get back on it, or the Lions got back on it? Like, do what Peyton Manning used to do. When you know that play's over, just curl up in the fetal position and take a sack and live for another day. I don't want to see the ball on the ground as much as it has been from our quarterback, because it's killing us, and it killed us in this game. What do you think about that play?
Yeah, that's one where I just put my hands in my head. I mean, I didn't scream, what are you? I was just like, come on. Like you said, because right after that happened, my buddy, texted me and said, he's been around that long and he continues to make plays like that. And it's just like, and I know in Stafford's head that he felt like, like they talked about it before, as they interviewed him, points were at a premium. They couldn't settle for field goals. I realized he was just trying to make a play. But still, that's like one of those things. I mean, come on, Matt. You got to realize you're not. I mean, come on. You're not the most fleet of foot out there. I mean, you had your bad hip. That's all we heard about the last couple of days before the game. And you're out there, and he was kind of holding the ball really loose. So, yeah, it's just, that wasn't the smartest thing, and it really did. It really hurt. It just compounded with, with what happened earlier. So it was very frustrating to see that. But I mean, I didn't get mad. I didn't bust a coffee table. I didn't throw anything across the room. I just put my hands on my head, and I'm just like, come on. It's just, my buddy said that, and I texted back, that's so Lions, and I know you'd like to hear that.
Griffith, this is when I need like that censor button where people swear, and when you do stuff like that, I just beep you out, because I had people on Twitter literally go, "Oh, that's the Lions for you." I'm like, don't be that guy. Like, nobody likes that guy that says, "That's the Lions." Oh, same old like, you don't want to be that guy, do you, Griffith? Or you're pretty much already that guy.
I think I was pretty much already that guy. So that was
it's not a good guy to be, because it's not same old Lions. It's not here we go again, but it is like, anytime an NFL quarterback is inside field goal range and they expose the football, they put it on the ground, they know they're giving up points. I mean, you just do not want to give up points in the National Football League, and Matt Stafford, especially inside the 20, should know, hello, like, I might want to just, take a kneel down here and let my kicker go ahead and get points. Like, it's killing us. And we kind of talked about the fumble return. Let's turn our eyes to Kerryon Johnson extending the football inside of a pile, backwards, upside down. Like, come on, Kerryon. It's year 2, but you know better than that too. Like, talk me through that one, because I thought that one was just as egregious of, like, you've got to know better. You've got to be smarter.
Yeah, that's if you've been a running back that long, and everybody talks about that. If you're not that close to the goal line where you extend it, I mean, we've seen it over the top plays, where once it gets extended just a tiny bit, once it breaks the plane. But I don't know if he just didn't know exactly how far away he was from the end zone. And, like, come on, you're right. You need to know better than that. It's just a dog pile in there. And you're trying to, like, extend the ball back. And I know you already heard my take. Wasn't quite for sure when the ball was fumbled, if his head hit the ground. But still, that's something, just, suck it up, eat it up. You're a half yard away at that point. Try to stick it in on the next play, live to fight another day. But that just wasn't smart right there.
And the other reason it kills me is because at Kerryon's fumble, I believe it was second down on the 1 yard line. So, your mentality as a player, it's not fourth and gotta have it. Matt Stafford's fumble is second or third down, whatever it was, inside the 10. You have another shot. Like, let's say he scrambles for, I think even if he would have went down at the point of the fumble, he scrambles for 2-3 yards. You go down, then you go ahead, you dial it up for the next play. If you don't get it, you kick a field goal. Like, carry on. If you can't get in, you protect the football. You have trust in Darrell Bevell that he's going to give you the ball again, or, dial up Hockenson, dial up Kenny, dial up Marv at that point, and get yourself points. Or, hey, worst case, you go ahead and you don't get it on third down, kick another field goal. That's basically a touchdown we gave up on those two plays by taking 2 chip shot field goals off the board. And that's the kind of things that can't happen. Those aren't like the same old Lions or, this always happens to the Lions. That's straight up fundamental football where we just are not using our heads, and we're not. You can say it's heat of the moment. You can say, it just happens sometimes. Or you can say really good teams protect the football and get points when you can get points. Like, it's inexcusable in my opinion. It's really, those were really too heartbreaking. As much as people are focusing on the refs and on this, that, and the other, like, my thing is, you don't put the ground on there, and you either, let's say you don't fumble. My thing is, you're either going to score a touchdown or, at worst case, get field goals in both those situations. Last time I checked, 6 points wins this game.
Yeah, I have a quick question for you. The one point in the game where it was 4th down and the Lions were going to go for it, it was like 4th and short. And they were within field goal range, and Ragnow had the false start penalty, and obviously Prater ended up kicking the field goal. But were you okay with that call of going for it? Were you like, yeah, they're showing grit, they're going to go for it? Or in your mind, were you like, come on, just take the points and kick the field goal? Which way were you with that?
I wish we had all the particulars, because I'm trying to remember back. I feel like, me being like I said, I was doing the live tweeting, I was watching the game, so I had like lots going on. But I feel like my first reaction was like, I said to myself, man, just go get that yard. But then I remember the situation. Like I said, if we had it right in front of us, it really was more of a kick it and get points situation. And so, like, as they were going for it, I'm kind of like, why don't we just take the points? Because, it wasn't, from what I recall, it wasn't like a, half yard or less. It was more like that full yard or more, where I was just kind of like, you really have to dial up a good run play or a good play action to get this. So, I hate to be revisionist history, but I think my naturalness said, man, just shove it up their ass and go for it. And then I was kind of like, oh wait, no, like, in the point of the game it was, and the down and distance, I was like, hey, let's just kick it here. That's what I think where I was at. So I was on the more, kick it and just keep getting points.
Yeah, I think I remember this because when they said that they were, keeping the offense out there and it was a long 1 yard, I was like you. I'm like, yeah, just jam it down their throat. You've been running pretty good. And then obviously when Ragnow had the false start, I was just like, yeah, okay, obviously now you do it. But it was like one of those things where it just seems like other Caldwell, he would have been more than happy to just trot him out there, kick the field goal. And you're right, you take the points. But it was nice that Patricia's actually like thinking about that. You can't settle for field goals. It's 1 yard. Put it on your team. Show some grit. Go get that yard. So I really liked his decision. But obviously with the false start penalty, kicking the field goal, getting the points, okay. But yeah, I really like the call that we're gonna go for it. And now that we rewatch the game, the number of times that the Lions had it, short yardage, and they seem not to get that short yard when they needed it. Even against Kansas City, that's maybe it was a good thing that they ended up with the 3 points. So,
but here's my counterpoint: is that we had already went for it on like 3rd and a half yard earlier and got absolutely stoned. So it's like, until they start drawing up better plays for these 3rd and shorts, run it up the middle on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 really is not the, the team we are at this point, or it just seems like the default dumb answer. Like, oh, just impose our will, pound it up there, get the first down. How many times have we got absolutely shut down on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 in the last year or two? Like, that's why I was so fired up at the Charger game we were at, because it's like, third and medium, and they ended up dialing up a decent play on play action, throw it to the tight end that worked rather than, just run it off the right tackle and see what we get and, let them burn their timeout. Like, they got to be more innovative if they're going to go for it instead of just, oh, we're going to go for it because we're going to be aggressive. Like, okay, run it up the middle and get stuffed by the defense. That's really not the kind of aggressiveness I want. So I know what you're saying, but my counter is like I think it was right in that first couple drives. It was third and really short, and carry on. It got stopped, and they were just like they went back for it and just lined up quick, and we'll just run it up the B gap again, and just got absolutely blown up again. It was just like, I've seen that too many times. I'm just getting sick of it. So, don't mind the aggressiveness, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
it just kind of talks about your point. For as much money they've spent on the offensive line, you'd think they'd be able to do that, but seems like they still get stoned on those plays. And I'm sure it happens to a bunch of other teams too. But I mean, right. we want to see them impose a world, but gosh, it's kind of.
And I got issues with Frank Ragnow too on the play. Like, okay, if you're really, I couldn't even tell if they were going for it. Were they just gonna do a hard snap? Because everybody looked out of whack. Like Matt Stafford's gyrating, he's under center, and then he's kind of doing his hard count, and then what Frank Ragnow did, like a triple take on that hike. It was sort of like, should I hike it, should I not? And then finally he did. Matt Stafford looked surprised, then he dives, and like the whole thing just looked out of whack. So I really don't even know if they really were going for it or not based on what they did, but I just know it did not look good. It wasn't like a team that has a great short yardage package that can just go out and get these type of plays. So it just seemed like a mess from the get-go. But like I said, my thing was, I think it was the announcer broadcast, like when they didn't get it, these dumb announcers were like, oh, now it's going to be tough on fourth down. It's like, hey, idiot. Now they're going to kick it, you dumb fool. Like, they're not going to, it's fourth and 6. Now let's line up again, fellas. Like, no. Now you obviously take the points. I think it was Charles Davis or vice versa, where he's like, no, they're going to kick it now.
Yeah.
After the one guy went on a diatribe about how now it was going to be so hard to convert. It was like, hello.
It's not the fourth quarter with like 30 seconds left and they're trying to get it, okay.
Gosh, I don't mind Charles Davis, but again, these announcers too were a little bit much for me with some of their just random takes, and then their, just all these wild like thoughts they had on all these crazy plays during this game. It got to be a little much, or it was just kind of like, okay, I just don't know where they were at. They were all over the map with their announcing, with their opinions. Everything is just. And of course, it was like, let's talk about this, Grifka. The Harlan Globetrotters, I mean, the Kansas City Chiefs running all these ridiculous plays, throwing the ball. Like, how many times did Pat Mahomes just hike it, drift back about 10 yards, and then just loft the ball in the air to somebody? Like, just kind of throw it up randomly. And they ran under it, catch it. Lots of times they didn't catch it. I mean, they're doing all this. Oh, look at all this ball handling by Pat Mahomes. I put on my live chat. I was just like, I cannot wait till they try one of these little gimmicky trick fancy plays. He puts it on the turf and they lose the football game. That would have brought me so much joy if that would have happened. Like, was it annoying you too? They were just kind of out there trying to be Curly and Moe, the Harlem Globetrotters, the NFL. Is ridiculous. I don't think Moe was on the Harlem Globetrotters.
No, but Curly and Moe. But I think it was quite the comparison there. It's just like, really? Come on. I mean, they're not. I'm just like, yeah, okay, that's enough. Let's pump the brakes here. They're not playing. It's more like a disservice to the Lions, just kind of like, oh, they're the Washington Generals. It's no problem. They're just going to go out there and do that, blah, blah. It's like, come on, really?
Right.
It's just still, I mean.
That's how it felt. But it's like, it almost burned them a few times, and like, it just would have been so sweet. Like, late in the fourth quarter, they try some gimmick play. What'd you think about the stupid throw it up in the air? I thought it was a more crucial, but it really was just second down play where Pat Mahomes drifted off to the right, threw it across his body backwards. Travis Kelce catches it, underhand flips it mid-play, right to Shady McCoy. He runs for another 15 yards. Like, you go back and watch that play. They did 8 million slow motion replays. Like, he gets it off by a millisecond. If that is done any other way, it's either knocked out by Tracy Walker or Tracy hits his arms and the flips, kind of off kilter, or he just straight up knocks it out for a fumble at that point, whatever they would have called it. Like, I mean, what'd you think about that play? Of course, it got so much love, but to me, it was very random. I can't believe he tried something crazy like that. And T-Walk was right there. I mean, his arm is just a half a beat away from absolutely just knocking that football out.
Yeah, everybody's like, that was amazing. That wasn't a planned play. That wasn't hook and ladder. You're right. I don't know if Mahomes knew he was throwing it to. He just kind of threw it to an area on that because they had two guys within 5 yards of each other, and that's usually a bad thing. Both guys drifted to the same spot. And you're right. If what Kelsey knows, I got Walker's right behind me, so I know I'm going to catch the ball and flip it to McCoy. And I mean, McCoy caught that like perfectly and yeah, he's a great athlete and we see him do a bunch of things. But if it's one of those things, if you're not prepared for it and somebody throws the ball at you that way, that's what, I mean, he caught it perfectly. I mean, yeah, he's a great athlete and he adjusts. It's like, oh, he's throwing the ball at me. Still, it's almost kind of like, okay, let's not act like, they haven't practiced that maybe, because that was almost too smooth for that to happen.
Yeah.
For it to be totally like, wow, that was amazing. They weren't even thinking that. How's McCoy? Come on, the way McCoy had position, he had flipped, he jumped. McCoy jumped because the ball was going over his head because he thought it was obviously to him. So he turns and he sees Kelsey standing there. Kelsey catches the ball and throws it right at him, but McCoy's like in the most perfect position to catch the ball. So that's obviously it's got to be something they've practiced before. I'm not saying that play was designed to do that, but they've obviously practiced that before. Because McCoy wasn't even like taken off guard or anything. Your body didn't even. It looked like he was just waiting for it. Even when you slow it down, slow motion, it was just. It was pretty lucky if it wasn't. Right. If it wasn't even practiced.
Right. I think that's a good word. I mean, lucky or like really gutsy by Travis Kelce, and he got away with it. You know what I mean? It could have easily been an absolutely terrible play that people are just laughing at him all day for. How could you flip the ball backwards on a play like that? But like you say, they got away with it. I mean, gosh, it's one of those, to me, me and you argue all the time, because to me, the NFL game comes down to a couple plays going one way or the other, and that was one of the ones that had it went the other way, and Tracy Walker's hand is a half an inch lower, and he knocks that football down, and the scramble's loose. Here's a funny thing too, Grifka. All the punch outs, all the fumbles we got on the dang Chiefs, and Shady McCoy carrying that ball like a loaf of bread on a Sunday morning. He doesn't put any on the turf. Have you ever seen a guy carry the football like this guy? I mean, I used to do that way back in the heyday in the playgrounds, but it's pretty embarrassing to carry the ball like that in the NFL, I think. I mean, I know he probably thinks it's so sweet, but Shady McCoy just palming the ball like 10 feet away from his body is pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, that's something coaches definitely don't teach, but guy's been around a while, so guess let him do what he wants until he gets burned by it, which I'm assuming he's probably lost fumbles before by doing that. I haven't seen every Shady McCoy carry, but it's I would have to say.
Like you say, I can't imagine Andy Reid's a big disciplinarian, just when it's all said and done, he just lets him do whatever until it kills him in the playoffs or something, and then he'll give the aw shucks routine. But yeah, I thought it was ridiculous the way he was carrying the ball. I'm like, how we knocking the ball out from everybody else and we can't knock it away from this fool? He did it later too in the late third, fourth quarter, where I was just like, oh my gosh, if somebody gets their hand on that ball, he'll never hear the end of it, carrying it like that. But yeah, crazy. So let's talk about a couple more plays, Griff. So, we talked about the punch outs. We talked about these ref calls that were just totally egregious. Hawkinson, big touchdown. Kenny Galladay ends up with 67 yards, 2 touchdowns. Should have had 3. Kerryon Johnson, as noted in our preview of the game, I said he'd probably have 120 and two touches. I mean, he went for 125. Should have had the 1 touchdown. Ends up with no touchdowns, but ran the ball well. Had a couple catches that he made some good plays on too. So Kerryon really got it going. Let's talk about the end of this game. I mean, you had to be proud of the Lions coming down. Kind of after all this adversity and having that great drive where Matt Stafford throws that incredible ball to Marvin Hall. I mean, your favorite player in the NFL, Marvin Hall, and then they get down tight, and he just throws that beautiful ball to Kenny. And like, I swear, Grifka, if they would have taken away that touchdown, I probably would have broken the TV or the coffee table or whatever you've done in your past. Because I was like, the drag of the foot, the toe was out, but the foot itself had dragged. I mean, even if they were unsure, I think they were just giving us that because they knew the other ones were bogus. But that was incredible play just across the board. It was awesome.
Yeah, that is that's a big time play by Kenny Golladay to drag that foot, and kudos actually to the side judge. I mean, they kept pointing out, look at it, he's looking right at it. And once again, Dean Blandino, our homeboy, well, I don't know, but Charles Davis like, but look, and he's like, he's even getting like the ray beams coming from the eyes, showing like he's staring right at it. How good? Well, I think they may overturn it because his foot is so, but he's look at it, he's looking right at it. And Dean Blandino was still like, well, I don't know, I think they may overturn this one. It's just like, why? I mean, the referee's looking right at it.
Hold on, though, because that was the big beef. He's looking right at it. Have you seen these refs? I mean, I really don't care what they're looking right at. The fact that they can't see anything is pretty much apparent to me at this point. But when you slow it down again in the 8 million frames a second replay, it's pretty obvious to me that you could see the bottom of his middle of his foot sort of touch the ground, like scrape it, as they said, and you could see just that field turf come up, and then the toe was completely out, but at that point it didn't matter because the bottom of his foot had kind of grazed across the ground to make it a catch. So I was just glad they not only got that right, but had the foresight to see, okay, hey Grifka, let's rewind the tape on this play. It may have looked to the naked eye like it was incomplete, or no, it looked complete, and then when they slowed it down, it looked incomplete because of the toe, and then when they really looked at it again, you could see this other foot down. But my thing is, there wasn't enough to change it, so they called it a touchdown on the field. They had to stay with that call, which for some reason they did that here, yet earlier they had conclusive evidence, which we all know is a bunch of garbage. Like, you didn't have conclusive anything earlier. You just decided, oh, hey, this time I think I'll just change the play for some reason, where every other time they stick with it. That's what drives me nuts, those kind of inconsistencies. And that's not the, oh, woe is me or poor Lions. That's the every other game I watch, if it's anywhere in doubt, they come back and do the stupid. It stands as called. Yet every Lions game I seem to watch, it's we've changed the play, and I'm like, based on what? You've changed it based on what? Because there's nothing to change the freaking play. That's my big beef this whole game is you can't change it on maybes, and they've done that more than we'd ever like to talk about with our Lions.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. Get the bell out.
All right, well, so the Lions come down, they score, which is big time. That shows lots of onions, lots of big old cojones coming down. Matt Stafford's feeling it. Kenny Golladay, again, body control, getting those feet in, making a huge play. At this point, you, me, and everybody else is saying, love the touchdown. There's still a lot of time on the clock. But all you do, like I said at the Chargers game, one time. We need one play, one stop. So the Lions come back. They get the Chiefs in a tough situation. 3rd and long. They end up not getting it. 4th and 8, Grifka. I think there was a timeout call by one of the teams. So both teams go to the sideline. I'm like sitting here going, we're one play away from being the Chiefs and going to 3-0-1. And sure enough, they hike the ball. Everything looks covered. I'm feeling it. I'm excited. All of a sudden, you look from basically tackle to tackle. There's not one Detroit Lions player anywhere in the screen. Pat Mahomes with his slow saunter just runs up the field for, gosh, it felt like 1,000,000 yards. I mean, I think he had needed 8. He probably got, 10, 15, whatever it was. Moved the chains. And then what I said on Twitter was they didn't even really make any big plays from that point on, which I think was on their side of the football field. They kind of just randomly moved their way down the field with little, not impressive plays. And the next thing you know, they were on our 5-yard line, whatever it is, first down. It was very frustrating. It's not like they made any really incredible plays to get down there. We just could not get off the dang field or make a play.
Yeah, I don't know if they were supposed to have somebody shadow Mahomes on that 4th and 8, and because the Lions had just made a great play before that on 3rd and 8 to protect them or knock the ball away to bring up 4th down. I don't know. I was reading something today. They thought it was probably supposed to be Christian Jones doing the maybe doing the spine of Pat Mahomes on that play, but he went with the safety Tavon Wilson and him both followed the running back out of the backfield, leaving the whole middle of the field open. So nobody knows for sure if it was it's supposed to be Christian Jones or not, but I don't know why you would double team the running back, coming out of the backfield on that. So yeah, that was one. You're right. Once that happened, it was just like the parting in the Red Sea, and there was nobody around. He scampered for 15 yards. That was pretty bad. But then the one that gets me even a little more is the guy they talked about the whole game. You talked about him earlier, Travis Kelce. You can't leave this guy unguarded. He was all pumped up after one of their touchdowns. And the play where before they double teamed him, was Jared Davis and I think it was Kennard actually had both double teamed him, and they didn't even let him 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. They're both kind of bumping him, not letting him go anywhere because you have that 5 yards from within the line of scrimmage, so they didn't get to do anything. And even the announcers pointed out, like, look, they double teamed. They'll probably do the same on this play. Well, the next play, they do that. They bump him coming off the line. And then I think Kennard goes to like rush, and then Mahomes kind of starts to roll out again. So they just show it. Jared Davis just leaves him, and Travis Kelce's just standing there, open. And like, why would you leave this guy? I mean, Mahomes barely rolled the other way, and there's nobody guarding this guy now. So, and yeah, Kelce catches the ball and he takes it down to like the 33 or something at that point. It only ended up being maybe like a 12-yard gain, but still, I mean. Why would you leave that guy wide open? And I think that comes back to like, we hear from the Patriots, and they've said it before where Patricia kind of wants to do that, do your job. I think at some point somebody was worried about Mahomes rushing up the middle again, and they left their job. And Travis Kelce just standing there wide open to catch the ball for like a 12-yard gain. And that one right there is just kind of mind-boggling. You got to keep at least one guy on that guy, because everybody else was covered down the field. And you watch the play, everybody else was covered. The only guy left wide open was Travis Kelce.
Grifka, this is where you got to savor this moment, because I don't say it too often on the show. 2 very good points by you, Grifka, and I'm glad you brought them up. First of all, one of my favorite plays of the football game that you brought up was when we just absolutely destroyed Travis Kelce off the line of scrimmage. Like, he tried to come off, and like it felt like he was in hold on, I gotta get my sound effect for this one, because this is what it felt like, or what I felt like watching the play. It's like he came off the line, and it was just like you said, Jared Davis, Kennard, whoever it was, just did this to Travis Kelce. Knockout. They just like triple bumped him, and he just said, "Oh, screw this." And like he just got out physical. I loved it. I was like, hell yeah. I was like, just beat him up so he can't do his little stupid 7-yard in cut where he just stands there and gets the football. But then you even bring up a better point, Grifka. Again, drink it in, man. Where the next play, he comes off the line. We're right there on him, and then the favorite player you like to beat up on, Jared Davis, just leaves him. Like, this is their go-to guy. This is the little underneath playmaker, and you just abort him to do what? Like you said, he sort of just went in the middle of the field, or hey, I'm gonna go cover the running back. Why? You're freaking on Travis Kelce. Just stay there. And said it right when he left him. Sure enough, he just throws it to him. And then the other thing he didn't bring up is like, how many times when it's the most crucial moment are the Lions not going to do the simple thing, which is like, keep him in bounds? Like, you just let him saunter his way from probably the midfield or the outer hash all the way to the sideline and get out of bounds. It was just like, just very frustrating on that across the board. But yeah, man, how they left Travis Kelce after they had just absolutely just freaking Mike Tyson punch out him on the previous play. I was like, just go do that again. Just out physical him. And instead, they just decided, hey, here's an idea. We'll leave him open. That'll really fool him. Just ridiculous. So,
yeah, the worst part is like when you watch the highlight and they show it from the angle, like from like the sky vision, not from the sideline angle, like where you normally watch a game, but that above camera. It's almost kind of comical because at first, I'm pretty sure it's Kennard. He goes in for the rush. Okay, maybe it's just one of those things. He's off the line. You take him. It's kind of like what they were expecting. But then you see like Jared Davis, like looking at the backfield, and he's standing right next to Travis Kelce. And like, all of a sudden he just runs away. Like, he's scared or something. It's like, poof, he's gone. It's just, and Kelsey's just like standing there. He's got to be thinking, they left me wide open. It's like, he's like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna take 2 steps back, and I'm even more open now. So, oh gosh, that was just all I could at that point. Maybe you're right. I got angry after I saw that because I was like, what the hell are you doing? And that, I think that's actually what came out of my mouth at that point.
So you're kind of like,
What the hell? What the hell? What the hell?
like, that's what I was saying. I was like, you're right there. Where are you going? Like, what are you doing? Like, right when they all ran away from Travis Kelce, game's on the line, I was like,
no, God, please, no.
I was like, what are you doing? So like, okay, so again, I don't want to make light of this because these are plays that are losing us this football game right now. So again, somehow they dink and dunk their way down, and they find themselves like inside the 5, basically first and goal inside the 5. The clock's just ticking down, tick, 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 as Berman would say, like under a minute. Next thing you know, kind of, 30 seconds left. They're just sort of walking up there. It ends up being, did they score on second down or third down? Do you remember?
It was third down because
they had stopped them a couple times. So I think it was third down. They run it up the middle again. Now, we got to break down this play, Grifka. What did you see? Because the whole time I'm yelling at my TV going, every replay I'm seeing like a clear shot of his knee touching the ground. The thing that isn't clear is where the football is. So, again, whatever the call was on the field. But then there's all these screenshots of like I said, I can't go against myself, as I said earlier, but there's screenshots of like Snacks Harrison getting absolutely clothesline / choked on the 1 yard line, being pulled backwards by his neck. I mean, I don't know how you don't see that, but you see all these other tic-tac holding calls. Like, what did you think about that play? Because to me, it wasn't if they were going to score, it was when. But still, I wouldn't mind having that back or moving them back to the 6 yard line and trying it again or whatever it may be, and trying to hold them to a field goal at that point. Or no, they would have had to still go for it. Like, take my chances, but instead they just did what I said earlier. When in doubt, they just let anything go, in those fist fights inside. It was just a brutal play. I don't think there was clear view that his knee was down and where the football was, but I feel like it was pretty clear that his knee was down, and you could assume, which this referee staff was good at doing, that he seemed to be short from a couple views that I saw.
Yeah, the views you're talking about, I've seen those still lifes as well. With it's like, everybody like does that thing with like the special, was it like here's the line here's the goal line, here's the football, it's obvious it hasn't crossed, here's his knee being down. I've seen those as well, and I've also seen the picture where it looked like it was obviously, Snacks Harrison was getting taken down, and like, dragged
straight up
somewhere.
Straight up sleeper hold was put on him from behind, like a straight up rear naked choke, as you would see in UFC, was basically what he was in.
Yeah, and that wasn't. I don't think that was one guy just taking him down. I think it was a couple different guys working on that. By the way it looked, I mean, there's so many limbs in there. It's hard to exactly tell, but I think that's exactly what it was. I think it was a couple of guys just like, okay, we're gonna tackle you, and like, they let it slide earlier where Ashawn should have got off the block, but since somebody made a phone call to the NFL, said it was unwatchable, don't call so many hold calls, and Pat Mahomes had already turned around and looked at the referee. It's like, are you going to throw that call? Are you going to throw that flag where Kevin Strong is being held? No? Okay, I'm just going to saunter off the sideline for 20 yards. Okay. So obviously the refs are okay with that. But you're talking about the time where it's running. When they got down there, I just thought to myself, let them score. It's one of those things I'm like, let them score. Just part the Red Sea, get as much time as possible.
Right.
And because sorry, I was once again texting my buddies. I told them, I go, I did it on the on the show before breaking this game down. I thought the Chiefs defense sucks, and I still think it sucks. I think they win a lot of games simply because they outscore teams. But I don't think their defense is that good at all. Their defensive backfield ain't that great. I mean, was it Chris Jones for him up the middle had a good game, but really, I mean, yeah, they had a few sacks, but there was a couple jailbreaks where obviously there was a breakdown in the inside. And honestly, I think the line got worse when Kenny Wiggins was put in over Joe Dahl. I think there was like a player or two where Joe Dahl didn't look great, but I thought he played a lot better than the 2 drives Kenny Wiggins was in there. But I think they should just let them score, and like you would have had all your timeouts. You would have had roughly like 45, 50 seconds left. I mean, I think that's pretty good for Matt Stafford to drive down on that team, considering he just did that before. And he like you mentioned, he threw a jump ball up to Marvin Hall. Obviously, you can trust him because he did it the time before. I think the Chiefs' defense sucked, and I really think that was just kind of. Yeah, hindsight's 20/20, but yeah, you stopped them on a couple downs, but you burned a couple timeouts as well, and you really didn't give yourself a chance there in the end. But I think they just should have just let them score right there, earlier, right on first down.
Yeah, like you say, it's hard to know because the greatest thing ever though would have been four down stand on the 1 yard line, win the football game, or the way the ball was being put on the carpet, like. Dumb Patrick Mahomes snaps the football, tries some, whoopsie fake with his hands, or trying to be a ball fake. Ball comes out, Lions get on and win. So I mean, there was still that, chance that could have happened the way the ball was getting fumbled in this game. But I mean, like you say, you're right. Like they could have just got out of the way, let him score, give Stafford a little bit more. So let's turn the clock back. They end up scoring. No holding call, no like it is 2019, right, Grifka? Am I right on that?
Yeah, you're correct.
We got all this ridiculous technology, but we can't get, like you said, these people on Twitter are able to make an actual goal line and actually piece all these like pictures together to figure out what's going on. But the NFL just like, hey, we looked at a couple camera angles and like, gosh, I know I've been on a Griffith soapbox about the refs, and don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the refs beat the Lions or poor is us, the refs. But what I am saying is like they have this probably $million/billion facility where they always have to call it New York. Like really, you can't call like the NFL headquarters. You got to call it New York every time, just to make yourself sound cool for whatever reason. I don't know why New York is some amazing thing to hear all the time, but they go, we got to go to New York on that one. Like, I feel like New York has all these fancy TVs and stuff, but all it is me and you and a couple other people sitting around going, I don't know, it looks short to me. What do you think, Bill? Bill's like, I think it's short too. And then they just call back and tell the ref to go tell the 70, 80,000 people, hey, go tell the people it was short. That's what we think. Like, I don't think it's much more scientific than that. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they're like, they got these big screen TVs and they're all like, well, go half. No, yeah, that's the spot. You're right. I think it's just a couple guys cracking a couple, Miller Lights, and they're sitting there with their feet up eating, some queso and chips. Like, Detroit's calling us. Yeah, bring up that tape. Yeah, we're probably going with that. Yeah, let's go with that. And the refs on the sideline, like got the headphones on, waiting for all this stuff, and they're like, "You're gonna have to wait. Right. Bob's in the bathroom right now. It'll be a couple seconds. We'll get him back out here." Right. I highly doubt these guys are all like, these guys are trained to watch this. I think this is a job you could go do. I mean, that's
right. And this is where I agree with you that I think that it's like you said, it's a nonchalant, oh man, Detroit's calling. What do they want? Whereas like, when New England's on here, this is where you do your bit, Grifka. What other teams might call New York, and it might be a different reaction than when the Lions call.
Oh, I'm sure like when New England calls up, they're right to the phone. It's like, excuse me, okay. Or maybe Green Bay, it's like, Mr. Rogers, are you okay? What can we do to help you out? When Dallas, like Jerry Jones on the call, it's like, oh, we'll piss you guys off again. We'll leave the NFL. Okay, never mind. What's the call? You want it? Okay. So
right. That's when they're breaking out all this. It feels like they have all that technology, but it's probably only on like 2 or 3 of the games that week, and everybody else gets the 4 or 5 camera shots, and that's it. And like you said, the Lions are just like, hey, Bill, go figure out that Lions game, let me know what you come up with over there, rather than, all the attention all these other calls get, because that's where I think you're right, is that they don't get the respect in regards to, hey, this is just as big of a call as everywhere else. And like you say, this is leading me into our end of the game here, Grifka. So the Lions get the football back. They make a couple plays. Matt Stafford makes a big chunk down the middle of the football field. They end up taking a shot at the end zone. The first Hail Mary was, a really good throw, was really close to where Kenny Galladay almost made a ridiculous catch, which probably would have been the greatest thing in my Lions history if he ends up catching this football. And they get another play, though, and they throw it up. And Marvin Jones gets absolutely decapitated at I probably was more like at the 10-yard line. The guy just said, all right, I'm just going to do a 2-point takedown on him, not even let him get to the end zone. And the rumor and innuendo is that New York was just like, oh, yeah, we decline the option to look that play over. We don't really care. We're not going to worry about it. Like you said, oh, it's a Hail Mary, so whatever happens type of thing. I mean, talk me through your thoughts on that.
Yeah, that's one of those things when I read that too, and I saw the tape of it, and we're like, Marvin Jones, they're just like tackling the guy, and then the NFL's like, well, we're a little more liberal on Hail Marys because stuff can happen because the chance of it really succeeding, it's like that's kind of like the most pointless excuse in the world. It's still a pass. I mean, I don't care if it's a jump ball or not. So what if it's a jump ball? They throw a bomb like that, and the first quarter with 10 minutes left to play, they decide to just chuck one up. I mean, you're going to let that slide too? Well, it's a Hail Mary. I mean, chances of it happening, aren't that great. Hail Mary, it's a very, high risk play. And, we're going to be a little more liberal with the rules. Well, that's just dumb. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, like I said, you could just, okay, I'm going to go down and just, karate kick some dude in the middle of the back. Well, it's not I thought we're a little more liberal with the rules here, I mean, you're going to take out a guy's knees or something like that, I thought we were just a little more liberal with the rules. So it's just dumb. And all you're doing is opening up a can of worms to, so when somebody gets a pass interference called later on that, where it's so blatant, well, in the Lions game, I mean, come on, it's just dumb. It's a penalty. Call the thing, no matter when it's done, because all you're doing, once again, is you're taking the opportunity away from the team to win. And I'm not saying that even if it was the Chiefs and something happened with, if the Lions were doing it, if it's blatant, yeah, call it. Because me and my friend, we argue about this all the time. He goes, look, it's blatant, it's obvious. I'm like, yeah, but they were letting them do it the rest of the game, so why'd they do it then? Well, it doesn't matter. It's still a penalty. You still shouldn't do it. But the NFL is going to allow them to do it because, it's a Hail Mary. It's a high-risk play. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like, it's like, in the NBA, you can get away with that by maybe giving superstars a little leniency, but in the NFL, especially the way they love to throw these yellow hankies, like you can't just decide, well, I know we called holding like that in the first quarter, but now because it's the end of the game, we want to let them play a little bit. Like, no, you either let them play a little bit or you don't for the game, call it as you see it type of thing. So, yeah, it's crazy how they just let that kind of stuff roll. But, gosh, man, I don't know. Like, to me, I haven't really looked into it deep, but to me, the Marvin play was it was totally egregious, but I don't know that, that's one that I would want across the board. That's one I could see, like, if they got it to the Lions, I'd be happy. But if it happened to the Lions, I'd lose my mind. So, I mean, he wasn't really in the play. Would he have got there, from at least a couple pictures I saw? Like, it still would have been tough for him to get in position and really make a play from where he got tackled and where the football was at the time. So, not only did I not see it live, but when I saw it come up later, I was just thinking, man, this seems like people just sort of looking for reasons at this point of why we got jobbed or what went wrong in this game. But I don't know, man. Those last couple, like, again, Matt Stafford with the big cannon arm didn't get that, final ball anywhere near the end zone either, so it wouldn't have mattered. So I don't know, man. Like, again, bringing us back to our earlier topic, like, I feel like so many ups and downs. This was an exhausting game. It was a fun game to watch. It was a learn your lesson type game. It was a prove it game. It was everything under the sun. And unfortunately, like, when you pull it up in the box score, when you look at the end of the year, we can say ifs, ands, or buts, but we'll just say, man, what if we would have won that game against Kansas City? We had that one.
Yeah, it's just, like you said, I know we argued about it. It's a loss, it's a loss, it's a loss. And, everybody's like, oh, they can play with anybody. Lions could play with anybody a lot of times. It's just still, I mean, maybe they find it as a confidence builder, with the week off, get healthy. Hopefully Hawkinson recovers, pretty quickly from that concussion, because that did look pretty bad. So I don't know if that's going to be a few weeks or not with him. But if that's one of those things where, they come back, come strong, because once again, it's a Monday night game in Green Bay. So, get your music out, for conspiracy theories. But, they already lost a primetime game in Green Bay to Philadelphia on, some tough stuff. So, it's Monday night against the woeful Lions. So another national televised game. So don't think that Aaron Rodgers, and his wide receiver crew is not going to get a few calls in that game. So, yeah, just be ready for that, Lions fans. The Lions are going to have to play against the referees again.
Oh man, it's I heard a lot of people, the day after the game saying, it's a really tough loss, one they could have had, but like that game in Green Bay is so huge. And Grifka, it's a good time to shut this show down, but the Lions are on a bye week. I say next week, all we do is pub up this game. I say we tell the people all our crazy road trip plans, what we're going to do in Green Bay, why we're going to win that football game, why you're not going to go old school Lions fan and just quit right at the first sign of adversity, why I'm going to just have a ton of fun with all the cheddar heads and mozzarella faces down there, and why we're going to get a big win in Lambeau under the lights and come home 3-1-1 when that's all said and done. How's that sound?
Oh yeah, that's sounding great. And even right now at 2-1-1, it's still better than the 0-11 that our wonderful ESPN crew, who never gives Lions any love, had already figured them out at. So, that's just one of those things. It's just nice to see. And all I got to say is, I don't know if anybody's looked at it, but Peter King, right now, he's released his first power rankings. And I know a lot of people don't like Peter King, but I don't mind him. But he has the Detroit Lions at number 11, which that's pretty impressive actually for a lot of people who didn't think that the Lions were going to do that much this year and be the worst team in that division. So,
oh man, I'm glad you like. To me, Grifka, Peter King is right in my Dave Burkett category as guys that I just cannot stand. And really the only reason is because of how pompous they both are. Like, to me, that's a perfect word for both those people. Like, every time Dave Burkett's on an interview, he makes his job sounds like it's the hardest thing ever, or he just has this pompous attitude about the Lions, like just really aloof. And every time I hear Peter King, that's what I think. Just some pampered, rich guy that's out there just writing articles and getting his way and getting paid tons of money. But I love the guys that are down to earth, man, putting in the work, like the Eric Schlitz of USA Today, Lions Wire, like the Tim Twentyman's. I met Twentyman at a camp. He just seemed like a totally regular guy that you go out and play around a golf with and have a brewski and talk football. Like, all those other writers or people you see were just like, man, that guy knows football, rather than, wow, that guy like thinks he's the greatest thing ever and has had a privileged life for the last 10 years or thinks he is, thinks that nobody could talk to him. So that's my quick take on Peter King and his as well as the guys that I think just really bust their tail and are just down to earth football guys. So, oh man, like I say, I'm glad he's got him kind of in that range, but I think, like you said, none of these reports matter. How many times we do that bit on the show where we go down these lists and look at this, and really it doesn't matter. The Lions have played much better than anybody could have expected in the media. They're about where we had them, as far as record wise. Now they just have to go win the game in Green Bay, come back and have another tough division game, and then go, keep fighting their butts off. The craziest part for me is, like, we've only played 4 games and every game has been such a up and down roller coaster. Like, I'm exhausted, man. I need this bye week because these have been some tough games to get my way through. And man, there's 12 more of these suckers to go. So hopefully the Lions can keep up the energy, stay healthy, get healthy, and put up some W's. So with all that being said, Grifka, you got anything else for the people?
Nope.
Everybody, thank you so much. We had to make this a double dip episode because there was so much to talk about. We'll come back next week and talk about the bye week. Hopefully the Lions getting healthy. We'd love to see Hand, Snacks, Hawk, Amendola, everybody ready to roll when me and Grifka are live in person in the hollow grounds of Lambeau Field for a Monday Night Football game, Lions-Packers. We'll talk all about it next week. Can't wait. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. We're out.
Pack the bag, start the plane, this game is over. It is over. What a comeback by the Lions.
Drink it in, man.